Welcome to the Rewards Master Podcast, where we talk about all things points and miles. We talk about credit card rewards. We talk about restaurant rewards and reward programs. We talk about different ways to level up your life with shopping portals and getting first and business class tickets for less and redemptions, just everything to make the most of your points and miles. So if you're listening to this on a podcast, if you give us a 5-star rating and review, also to follow, subscribe to the channel, that really helps us get more listeners. And if you're here on YouTube, please mash that like button and also subscribe to the channel. We're really trying to grow the channel, be able to reach more people, and I'd appreciate it very, very, very much. Today I want to talk to you about, well, I guess it's an admission more than anything. And I'm a little embarrassed about it because I've put out content both as a podcast and also as a video about how I had no interest in the American Express Platinum. And I still don't have to exactly eat my words on the American Express Platinum, but I am going to eat some crow today because I couldn't resist and I got the American Express Business Platinum. Now, I stated over and over how I didn't think it was worth all the hype, that what everybody thinks about this card is just overinflated, and I would compare it to things like my Citi Prestige card, and I thought, well, there ain't no way that this is worth as much as that, because the Citi Prestige has just better multipliers. I mean, 5x on dining, 5x directly with airlines and on travel, and 3x on cruises and all of that. And so I just didn't see the benefit in it. The other thing I didn't like was that, I don't typically travel alone. I do on occasion for work and things, but a lot of times I'm traveling with my wife or traveling with coworkers or friends or whatever it may be. And I don't like that not having access for guests to lounges. And all of those things are kind of still true. But, well, I got a really smoking good offer. So I'm eating my words and I got the Business Platinum. And the reason that I jumped on board is even though it has that insane $695 a year annual fee, when I looked it up, I was just kind of looking at different offers and I thought, well, I'll try an incognito browser. That's a technique that people say to do. So I did that and I got a 190,000 point offer. I applied, boom. Approved. Got to spend $15,000 in the first 3 months, but taxes, quarterly taxes, different expenses. I think I'll be able to get there. And 190,000 points. I mean, American Express points are supposedly, according to the Points Guy and others, they're worth 2 cents a piece. So by my math, 190,000 points, that's a $3,800 bonus just for getting the card. That would pay the annual fee of $700 for multiple years, not including the points you're going to earn with that $15,000 to spend and all the perks and the different benefits. So, yeah, I guess I'm just going to have to humble myself and say, I jumped on the bandwagon. I've got the card. So I'm going to go through this a little bit, and maybe you have an interest in this. I'm going to put a referral link down below. If you'd like to use that link, use the link in a incognito browser, and maybe you can get some points. And hey, I wouldn't turn down the points for the referral. So make sure it's a good offer. But wow, I was so very, very excited. So let's go through the benefits and maybe some of the remaining shortcomings of this card. So of course, the greatest benefit of the card is that incredible sign-up bonus. I don't think even on hotel cards that have like a half a cent per point value each, like Hilton cards, sometimes you'll get a bunch of points. I think I've got like 165,000 on some of those before. But nowhere have I ever gotten a sign-up bonus like this. 190,000 points that are valuable points. So that is, we got to start there. That is the absolute greatest benefit of the American Express Business Platinum card. Then we move to their airport lounge access. And everybody kind of touts this, thinks it's the greatest thing ever. I'm kind of torn. Now that I have it, I will certainly use it. I fly into some airports every year that the only lounge they have is an escape lounge. Well, it gives you access to escape lounges, and at escape lounges, and I do like this, I get to bring in guests for free. So that's you kind of think of, and I thought of this as a card that you could just get in yourself. So I was pleasantly surprised when I started digging into it to find out that at least at those escape lounges, which I will be able to use probably, 6 or 8 times a year, I'll be able to bring a guest in for free. But then you also have the big boys, the Centurion lounges, but that is just yourself, and you got to spend $75,000 on the card to get anybody else in, which I am not going to do because of the multipliers, because they're not good. 5x multiplier when you spend through their portal on flights and such, and then 1.5 if you spend over $5,000 on certain business purchases, and then 1 on everything else. Well, my Blue Business Plus card is going to give me better than that, so I'm probably not going to do a ton of spend on it. But certainly going into those lounges when I'm flying by myself is going to be nice. And then you get, of course, a priority pass, which I probably won't use because my City Prestige card has a better priority pass. I have priority pass, I think, on 4 cards, which a lot of people who are deep into this game, we all do. So it's just, I guess, if I ever need it. But, well, I suppose one use would be to go into the Chase Sapphire lounges more than once, because you only get in once with your priority pass membership. So since I have 3 or 4, then I guess I can get in more than once. So that is a benefit. But then you also have Delta Sky Clubs. Now, as I've said before, there's a Delta Sky Club in my home airport, but I'm not a flyer with Delta, but I'm going to kind of reevaluate it. Maybe I can take a few flights out, use some of my miles for some of the personal flights I would have had to pay for, and utilize that lounge and some of their lounges in other areas as well. So when it comes to their lounge access, I'm still not totally sold on it. I still wouldn't because of the limitations on guests. And of course, Delta, you got to fly with Delta. I still wouldn't say it's the greatest in the world, but it's good. And certainly I'm going to use it, and I'm somewhat excited about it. Now, one perk I'm excited about goes in conjunction with that $200 airline credit for incidentals. And that's the same as what is on the American Express Personal Platinum, and also what used to be on my Hilton Aspire card that had a $250. And so what I will always do with that is I'd register it with United Airlines as my primary airline, and then I'd use it for their travel bank. The problem with this, and I didn't realize this was an issue, I'm still very excited about this benefit, but the problem is to get what I think is probably the card's superpower, which is the 35% back on points bookings through American Express Travel. So if you pay with points on American Express Travel, you get 35% back, but it's only good on business and first class flights on any airline, which I'm probably never going to pay for one that way. I'll transfer points to do that. But it's only good for economy tickets on whatever airline you choose as your $200 credit airline, as the one you want to get that $200 incidental fee. And I'm just not going to fly United and use it for that. So I had to choose. Do I do American, where I fly as a status flyer, or do I do Delta? Well, if I do Delta and if I ever fly out of there, I can also use this card for my home club. And so I ended up choosing Delta. Now, the great superpower of this 35% is that, wow, it absolutely makes it the very best card to shop through a shopping portal for flights. Chase Sapphire Reserve has typically held that spot because the Chase Sapphire Reserve will give you 1.5 cents per point value when you shop through their portal. Well, this, with 35% back, that comes out to 1.54 cents per value, per point value. And so that is just out of this world good. I mean, it's so exciting. And the great thing about that is when you book through one of those travel portals, even though if you do have to cancel, and if I have flights that I'm not sure about, or that I think there's some possibility that I might have to rearrange them or whatever it may be, I'm not going to do it that way. I'm going to book directly with the airline. But if I feel fairly confident, if you book through that travel portal, it's hard to make changes. However, When you do that, you get to put in your frequent flyer mile, and you still get credit for flying with the airline, and you get miles with the airline, which gives you kind of some benefit back on top of what you're getting with this card, that rebate. So 35% back on points bookings. That makes this card extremely valuable. And I just hadn't ever looked into it that close. So again, one more thing I'm having to eat my words on. But that is one of the best benefits of the card. The card gives several different hotel benefits that I don't know if I'll use them or not. You get access to the Fine Hotels and Resorts collection, which I understand is outstanding. You know, you get like early check-in, late checkout. You get like a dining credit with that. But unlike the personal version, you don't get a statement credit of $200 for using it. So I'm not sure I'll use it. I have so many hotel points and so many free night certificates. I doubt I will. And then it gives gold status with Marriott and gold status with Hilton. Gold status with Marriott's kind of worthless. I have gotten a slight room upgrade with it, but it's not that good. And then gold status with Hilton's pretty good because you get a dining credit, but I already have both of those statuses. So it may be valuable to you to have those statuses. Like I said, the Fine Hotels and Resorts, if you don't have a lot of free night certificates or a lot of hotel points, that might give you a great value. And then if you don't have the gold status with Marriott, so. But if you don't have the gold status with Hilton, well, that could save you money because you're going to get credit for food and beverage or free breakfast overseas, which can add up on especially a multiple night stay. So I would say those are so credits. The card gives some benefits for rental cars. I think with National and Avis and Hertz, it gives you kind of their higher level status so you can pick a better car. But most of us who have a lot of cards, we have some kind of status with some of those rental cars anyway. And so it might be very valuable to you, but if you have a bunch of other cards, it probably is just an overlap type of benefit. And so that's not all that helpful. It does give a clear credit along with the TSA global entry credit you get every 4 years with just like a slew of other cards. So that's certainly probably redundant. But the clear credit could be nice. I get one with my Hilton Aspire now, and I get one with this, and I haven't had clear, neither has my wife. So I'll probably sign us up for both, even though there's not a clear in our home airport, but we maybe can use it as we travel. So that'll be a nice free benefit for both of us. Now we look at the big boy credit, and I plan to get a lot of use out of this $400 a year Dell credit. Now, when I first thought about it, I thought, how am I going to use that? I don't buy 2 computers a year because it's broken up into $200 the first half of the year, $200 the second half of the year, and you just have to make a purchase at Dell.com. But then I got on there and I started looking around, and Dell's got like a lot of stuff on their website, and their prices are pretty comparable. So either I'll find something that'll make a good Christmas gift or something I could use for this YouTube channel, and there's a lot of stuff electronics-wise that I could use, or I'll just buy something and then resell it on eBay and get most of my money back to recoup that credit. So I think that $400 credit for Dell actually is going to work just fine. So that one's pretty good. Now, from there, we look at kind of what I would consider the useless credits for me. You've got like this Indeed credit. I don't have any employees, so I'm not going to be hiring, any employees myself for my business. So that one's utterly useless, and it's just like it didn't even exist. And then there's the Adobe. I don't use the Adobe software for my stuff, but even if I wanted to, you've got to get like their expensive business suite to get it. So that one's utterly useless as well. So the different benefits that I'm going to get from the card are going to be that 35% off. It's going to be that credit that we get for airline incidentals. Hopefully I'll be able to use all of that. I think there's a way that with Delta you can like halfway use a gift card and then use it for part of it, and it'll work for some of that plane fare. But then I'm also going to use that $400 Dell credit, and then the last credit is for your cell phone bill. So I switched my cell phone over to that. I should start getting that $10 a month. That's $120 a year. So when you add those credits up, if I can utilize it all, even though I can't use some of the utterly useless ones like Adobe and Indeed, and then some of the other benefits don't mean all that much to me, I will get the ability to get into some of their lounges and even use that Escape Lounge quite a few times. Probably will use the Delta Lounge a few times and the Centurion Lounge. That's great. I'll get the $400 for Dell. I'll get the $120 for my phone, and then also I'll get the $200 airline incidental. That adds up to $720 plus the lounge access plus the 35% off. I think I'm going to come out ahead on this deal. So, all said and done, I'm eating my words, eating crow on this, and having to say, well, I guess I misspoke. The American Express, at least the business platinum, and I might even look in the future about having my player 2, having her get the regular platinum so we could double up and she could go into the lounges with me if I can make those credits work. So I'm starting over with American Express Platinum cards, and I'm going to reevaluate them completely. I'd love to know what you think of the card. If you want this card, I'm giving you my referral link down below. Make sure you put it in an incognito browser, open up the browser, and then paste the link into the address bar up top so that you can maybe get that 190,000. Even if you get, I think the regular offer is 120, but even if you get 150, man, that's worth a lot in American Express points. So I'd love to hear what you have to think about this card and any other American Express, maybe even the regular American Express Platinum. But I'm admitting maybe I was very wrong about this. We'll see how it goes. Have a great day. We'll see you here next time.